Have you ever wondered why some people never seem to take responsibility for their actions, always shifting the blame onto others? It's a perplexing behavior, isn't it? Not to mention, incredibly frustrating. Welcome to the first chapter of our deep dive into this intriguing subject. Today, we're going to peel back the layers of the blame game, unmasking the signs of individuals who consistently dodge responsibility. This isn't just about venting frustrations, though. Understanding these behaviors is crucial in our day-to-day interactions, both personal and professional. Think about it. We've all encountered that one person who never seems to own up to their actions. The coworker who always finds a way to point fingers when things go wrong. The friend who never admits they messed up. It's easy to feel helpless in these situations, but what if you could spot these behaviors from a mile away? Wouldn't that change the dynamics? That's exactly what we're hoping to accomplish with this video. By bringing to light the patterns and signs of these blame-shifting individuals, we aim to empower you to better navigate your interactions. Recognizing these behaviors is the first step towards dealing with them effectively. But let's remember, this isn't about labeling or blaming others. Instead, it's about understanding. It's about learning the telltale signs of irresponsibility and the psychological reasons behind it. It's about developing empathy and insight into the complexities of human behavior. Just imagine how this knowledge could transform your relationships. You could diffuse tensions before they escalate, foster healthier connections, and even encourage a culture of accountability. It's a game changer, right? So, buckle up, because we're about to embark on an intriguing journey into the world of personal responsibility and blame shifting. We'll be delving into the psychology behind these behaviors, providing real-life examples, and offering practical advice on how to deal with irresponsible individuals. To understand this further, let's dive into the world of psychology and explore the reasons behind such behavior. Psychology offers intriguing insights into why some individuals consistently evade responsibility. Let's delve into this fascinating realm. A key player in our discussion is Sigmund Freud, the father of psychoanalysis. Freud proposed several defense mechanisms our minds use to protect us from distressing thoughts and feelings. Two of these mechanisms, projection and denial, are particularly relevant when it comes to irresponsibility. Projection is when we attribute our own unacceptable thoughts, feelings, or motives to another person. For instance, a person who struggles with accountability might accuse others of being irresponsible. It's a way of deflecting guilt and placing blame elsewhere. Denial, another Freudian concept, is when we refuse to accept reality or facts, acting as if a painful event, thought, or feeling did not exist. It's a common tactic among those who avoid responsibility. They simply deny their role in a situation, absolving themselves of any blame. But Freud isn't the only one who has something to say about this. Let's also consider the concept of cognitive dissonance, a theory proposed by social psychologist Leon Festinger. Cognitive dissonance is the mental discomfort experienced by a person who holds two or more contradictory beliefs, values, or perceptions at the same time. For example, a person might believe they are responsible and reliable, yet frequently fail to meet commitments. This creates dissonance. To ease this discomfort, they might blame others for their failures, thereby maintaining their self-perception as a responsible person. These psychological theories offer a glimpse into the complex mechanisms that might drive irresponsible behaviors. Of course, human psychology is intricate and diverse, and these theories may not apply to everyone who shirks responsibility. But they provide a starting point for understanding why some people seem to be perpetually stuck in a blame game. Recognizing these psychological patterns is the first step to unmasking the blame game. By understanding the psychology behind irresponsibility, we can better identify it in our lives and begin to address it in a constructive manner. So, what are the telltale signs of an individual who habitually shifts blame and avoids responsibility? First off, we have a lack of accountability. Irresponsible individuals often have a hard time owning up to their actions. They may commit a mistake, but instead of admitting it, they'll point fingers at others. For instance, if they're late for a meeting, they'll blame traffic, their alarm clock, or even the dog, rather than accepting that they didn't manage their time well. Next, we find frequent excuses. These individuals always have an arsenal of reasons at their disposal for why something went wrong. It's never their fault, but rather the circumstances or other people's actions. For instance, if they fail to meet a deadline at work, they might blame their colleagues for not providing information on time, or the computer for crashing, neglecting the fact that they procrastinated. The third sign is playing the victim. Irresponsible individuals often portray themselves as the innocent party who is constantly wronged by those around them. For example, if they receive a poor performance review, they may argue that their manager has a vendetta against them, instead of acknowledging their own shortcomings. Lastly, we have the inability to apologize. Saying "I'm sorry" and meaning it requires accepting responsibility for one's actions. Irresponsible individuals struggle with this because it means admitting they were wrong. If they accidentally spill coffee on your new shirt, they might say something like, "You shouldn't have been standing there," instead of a simple and sincere apology. These signs aren't always easy to spot, as irresponsible individuals can be quite skilled at manipulating situations to shift blame. But by being aware of these behaviors, you can start to see through the excuses and the victim playing. Armed with this knowledge, you'll be better equipped to identify and deal with irresponsible individuals in your life. Now that we know the signs, how can we effectively deal with individuals who habitually shift blame? First and foremost, it's crucial to establish boundaries. This doesn't mean you're shutting people out. Instead, you're setting clear expectations about what behavior is acceptable. Enforcing these boundaries requires consistency. If an individual continues to blame you unjustly, it's necessary to firmly and respectfully communicate that it's unacceptable. Next, try not to get pulled into their blame game. It's easy to become defensive when you're constantly being blamed. However, engaging in a blame-shifting tirade only fuels the fire. Keep your cool and respond calmly and objectively. Avoid taking their behavior personally. Remember, their refusal to take responsibility says more about them than it does about you. Promoting a culture of accountability can also be a powerful strategy. Encourage open and honest communication, where people feel safe to admit mistakes and learn from them. By doing so, you're creating an environment that discourages blame shifting and fosters personal responsibility. But perhaps the most important point to remember is to take care of your own emotional health. Dealing with irresponsible individuals can be draining. It's essential to recognize when you need to step away and recharge. Seek support from trusted friends, family, or a mental health professional if needed. If you're in a leadership role, it's equally important to foster a culture of responsibility within your team. This could involve clear communication of expectations, constructive feedback, and recognition of those who demonstrate responsibility. In personal relationships, the approach might differ, but the principle remains the same. It's about encouraging growth and responsibility while maintaining your own emotional well-being. And finally, remember that everyone is on their own journey. It's not your job to make someone else take responsibility for their actions, but you can control how you respond to them. Remember, it's not your responsibility to change them, but you can change how you respond to them. In this journey of unmasking the blame game, we've explored the psychology behind irresponsibility and the signs of irresponsible individuals. We've embarked on an enlightening expedition, diving deep into the fascinating and complex world of personal responsibility, or rather, the lack thereof. To recap, we delved into the psyche of those who consistently dodge responsibility, examining the reasons behind their blame-shifting behavior. From childhood experiences to fear of failure, we discovered that the roots of irresponsibility are complex and varied, often deeply ingrained in an individual's personal history and mindset. We then identified the telltale signs of irresponsible individuals. Remember, these are the ones who consistently blame others, never accept their mistakes, and always seem to have an excuse at the ready. They avoid commitments and rarely follow through on their promises. They display a disregard for others' feelings and perspectives, often making light of serious situations. But it wasn't all about identifying the problem. We also explored effective strategies for dealing with such individuals. We learned that setting boundaries, promoting a culture of accountability, and fostering a positive mindset can go a long way in mitigating the impact of these individuals on our lives and relationships. Knowing the signs of irresponsibility and understanding the psychology behind it is paramount for personal growth and the cultivation of healthy relationships. It enables us to navigate challenging situations, foster a culture of accountability, and promote empathy and understanding in our interactions. This knowledge is not just about identifying and dealing with irresponsible individuals. It's also about self-awareness, self-improvement, and personal development. It's about recognizing these behaviors in ourselves, taking responsibility, and striving to be better. By recognizing these signs and using effective strategies, you can navigate through life's challenges more effectively. The power to create healthier interactions lies in your hands.